good? Do you want to go? Or I didn't know if you needed your coffee.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Hi. I wanted to know how practice has turned up since you've gotten to LA. Like, give me an example of what's increased and gotten better.
Yeah, for me personally, I feel like the level of detail and execution and focus has just went up to a whole level notch, and a little bit of excitement and energy, and just there's good vibrance all around. So it's something you don't really see the sun too much in this time of the year in Michigan. So it's something that's different when you come out here.
Tell me what has been the physicality level, because I know you guys laid off a little bit at home. Has the physicality of practice increased?
I mean, I wouldn't say so. I feel like the coaches are trying to do a good job of taking care of our body before this game. It's a long season, so you don't want to burn yourself out, towards these last couple of games.
And then rhythm. Sometimes offenses, you have a long layoff and you kind of lose that rhythm that was clicking at the end of the season. What's happened to the rhythm and what looks good right now?
I feel like the rhythm's getting better. You have that time off where you don't have games, but you still have practice, and you get to refine the small things and just get a little better. So I feel like our rhythm is going up from there.
You guys feel better? Obviously, the practice schedule changed a little bit this year. Your body's feeling better?
Yeah. I feel like I'm moving a lot better than how I used to, like week 11 or even the Big Ten championship. My legs just feel kind of dead, but having that time off, I feel really good right now. I feel fresh.
Does it feel bigger? Bigger bowl game than obviously the last two playoff games weren't the Rose Bowl. It wasn't Alabama. Does this one feel bigger?
Now that you bring it up, it kind of does. We're playing a very good team. We're a very good team too. And what Mikey said yesterday, I feel like it's going to be like an instant classic. It's just something different about this game.
Do you think Alabama's like a true number 4 seed, or you think they're better than a 4 seed?
Man, I don't know about that. I can't answer that one. I'm sorry.
So I don't know if you've heard that some of these Alabama players are only watching iPads with their coaches, for fear that they fall in the wrong hands or anything like that. Like, what do you make of? I mean, college football coaches are paranoid. They take lots of steps to make sure that things are in order. But what do you make of your opponent, doing stuff like that before playing you guys?
It's just like a precaution thing. Coach Harbaugh turned our iPads off too. It's just a feeling like coaches try to protect our players and things like that. When you first see it, you kind of laugh a little bit. It's kind of outrageous that like things like that are going on, but you can't really blame him with the things going on in college football these days.
What do you mean he turned the iPads off?
Like, we don't watch film either anymore, like on our iPads. It's just everything's in the facility or with the team only.
When did that happen?
I think he brought it up in like November or something like that, but then he officially turned it off for everyone yesterday.
One thing that Alabama's defense is known for, the secondary in particular, is making it hard to get off the line of scrimmage, get into your route. They are very physical secondary. What have you seen on film, and how are you preparing for that?
Watching film, I don't really see them like too aggressive at the line of scrimmage. I think they play a really good technique and almost mirror off the line. I think they're really good at keeping DBs on the line, but I don't think physical on the line, and no disrespect intended, I just don't think like two-hand jamming and like jumping on the line is really what they do. I feel like they're just more like...
That's more downfield, like they're physical and right downfield.
Okay.
That's more downfield.
Yeah.
What have you seen that you're like, okay, we got to be aware of this?
They just mirror very well. They mirror very well. On the third step, they like to shoot their hands. So, I feel like they just have really good technique.
What have you seen about Caleb Downs on film?
He's very physical. That's in my notebook. That's the main thing I talk about. He's willing to come down and boom some shit.
Coach Harbaugh is known for his khakis and cleats on the sidelines. If you were a coach, what would your game day fit be?
Probably like some sweats and just a t-shirt. Try not to overdo it. Feel casual, feel normal, feel warm. Don't want to be too tight, too overdoing it. But I think that's Coach Harbaugh. That's his drip, so that's what he likes.
While we're on the topic of fashion, after the Ohio State game, you made some comment about Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Did you see Marvin's hat at the Heisman?
No, I didn't.
He had a Louis Vuitton beanie that
Yeah.
he wore ahead of it. I didn't know if that was interpreted as a shot at you or Michigan or what you make of that.
I didn't like call out Marv, like single him out or anything like that. His media kind of ran with it and took it. It is what it is. I get it. It's my fault for letting him get that opportunity to do that. But no, I mean, like fashion and all that, it's all cool. I just, you know, when you overdo it and you know, you make that the main thing, then I feel like that becomes a problem.
You thought about your NFL decision coming up after this game at all?
I definitely thought about it. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. You know, I have both options, so you know, it's all on the table. I'm just really focused on these games.
JJ said that the playoff might impact like his decision after the season. Do you kind of see it as the same way?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like in the receiver room, we call these last games a money game. You know, good team. They got a lot of good DBs, so they're gonna get drafted too. So for both of us, it's really money games.
Roman, with 4 extra games beginning next year, the possibility of that. Do you foresee any guys opting out of that just because of the enhanced possibility of injury?
I definitely hope not. You know, when you commit yourself to a program, you commit yourself to trying to win and not commit yourself trying to go to the NFL or things like that. You know, I would hope players would just want to win something for their team, you know?
Roman, you've actually never kind of been in a position where the game that you're playing in is meaningless since you've been here. You haven't really had a, should I opt out or should I opt not? How kind of different is that? Did you even think when you came to Michigan that, hey, I'm going to be playing in, not going to play in a bowl year 1, but I'll play in the playoff the next 3?
Yeah, it's just something crazy to think about, you know, that all 3 years we're going to be playing meaningful postseason football, you know what I mean? It's not like we're playing in some other bowl game. You know, this really means something. This is giving me an opportunity to work for something I want, something that's going to be around for the rest of my life, something that in 50 years, you know, I'll come back and see these guys and we'll get together and we'll talk about why this was so meaningful, you know what I mean?
Roman, what have you guys learned from the last 2 years getting to this point and getting over the hump? So I remember asking you guys the same question last year. We learned a lot. We really mean it now. What's the next step? How do you take it?
Yeah, for me, it just comes down to the details, the focus, and just giving it all you got. I mean, like straining after the play. Like, I don't want to pull up the film after the game and my brother's running with the ball and, you know, I'm just watching him. You know, I better be 100 miles down the field sprinting to go get a block for him, you know, and that's what I want him to do for me when I'm about to make a play.
What does it say about Michigan in college football? You guys have been so resilient. You've been without your head coach for half your games for whatever the reasons were, but there's been a lot more than that. Why are you guys so resilient?
You know, Coach Herb likes to talk about it like it's a hidden blessing. You know, you never really get a chance to face adversity. You know, without adversity, you know, you're not really going to grow. You're not going to become something special. So in my opinion, I feel like all this problems and things that's going on, it's really a blessing for us. And it really has helped this team a lot grow into what we are now.
Is it a blessing when we keep asking about it?
It's all right. You know, it gets a little old every now and then, but, you know, it's part of the job too.
On that note, Roman, you've been asked a lot of questions so far. What's one question you wish you would be asked?
I wish I would be asked more about probably how good of a guy Coach Harbaugh is. Like, I feel like I never really got asked that. Like, does Coach Harbaugh really like his players? Is he really like a team guy? You know, I think he really is. You know, he's he's such a good dude. I went to his house for Christmas, and you know, he's really just a dude. Like, he was in the backyard working on the chicken coop. Like, I've never seen a guy on Christmas just like working on his yard or just chilling with his kids. I mean, all his kids were back there with him. You know, it's just something like I never thought my head coach would be doing that. You know what I mean?
Do you notice significance to I see the roses on your arm. Do roses hold any importance in your life?
You know, when at a young age growing up, you know, I really liked roses. My dad, for some reason, he always had a bunch of roses in the house, and you know, I just kind of fell in love with them.
Do you feel like there's a difference in the way Harbaugh is portrayed by the media as opposed to the person he is when you're with him?
Sometimes I feel like it's like 50-50, where like one person may like him, one person may not. But you know, I've only really had good experiences around him.
What exactly was he doing to the chicken coop?
I think he was like putting like, it's not hay, but like he was putting stuff in there, and the chickens were like laying eggs and things like that. So it was kind of crazy.
Roman, do you give any thought to, given all that, this might be it for him? I mean, he could win a championship and walk off, or not win a championship and walk off.
Yeah, I mean, there's a question you get every year, like
Right.
if he's gonna leave. I don't know. I think only he knows, and you know, I think he wants to come back. You know, I can't read his mind, but you know, whatever he decides to do, that's his decision.
Did anybody ask him at the Christmas gathering? Hints at it?
No, it was just me, him, and his family there. So
Oh, just you?
yeah, I mean he invited me and Donovan Edwards were invited, but Donovan was busy, so I just ended up going by myself.
For those who made up their mind maybe about Harbaugh, what kind of person would you say that he actually is off camera, individually?
I mean he's just a kid for real, like just out there having fun, acting like one of us, cracking jokes with us, and just being a dude at the end of the day. Like he's really just one of us. He's not above the pedestal. I feel like he interacts with people like fans and people like that in the facility better than anyone I've ever seen. He really cares about his players and his friends and his family and even like the fans more than anyone I know.
What did Coach Moore show you during the time he was running the team?
When Coach Moore was up there, nothing really changed. He did a great job of keeping it the same and kind of replicating what Coach Harbaugh does, and nothing much was different.
But in terms of his future as a head coach, you saw that sort of thing?
That's something I never really think about, and that's something Coach Moore never really brought up is like his quote-unquote future as a head coach. And, one day he's going to be a really good head coach, and, he does a good job of just focusing on what's going on right now.
Does that excite you, just the futures that you guys as players, as coaches all have down the line?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like besides the players, there's going to be a lot of great coaches here, and, a lot of guys who are going to go do great things. And you kind of already see it, like I forgot his name, the DC for the Ravens now, he's doing his thing. He's very good, and he was just here. Like it felt like a couple days ago he was just with us.
How has your relationship with JJ deepened over this year? And considering this might be your last ride together, how much would a win mean to the both of you?
I feel like, we had a meeting last night, and it was John Jensen was talking about the 50th reunion of the last time the Rose Bowl played or something like that. And, I don't know why, I just got a little emotional, like that's something I want. I want to roll in. I want to roll in on my wheelchair with my oxygen tank. I'm bald as hell. I'm seeing everyone else, and we just having a good time, like cracking jokes, like just like how we were when we was here 50 years ago.
Given Coach Harbaugh's history of being quarterback and really offensive-minded, has he instilled any specific advice to you guys as wide receivers that you haven't really heard anywhere else, where he just clearly understands the position and all the intricacies?
As far as like route details and things like that, he's always talking about route details and what the quarterback's looking for, indicators, and what a QB wants to do. And one thing that really stuck out to me is he wants us to be physical out there. It starts with the line, winning the line of scrimmage, and it starts with us like going in there, getting safeties and getting physical with corners too. So that's something he's trying to put in our heads as well.
When you make those highlight reel type catches, that's something that majority of people will never experience. What is that emotion like when you come up with the ball, and how do you put that into words?
It's one of the greatest feelings you could ever have. Like just going up getting a pass, or even just scoring in front of 100,000 people. And every day I gotta wake up and thank God I'm able to be in this situation in my life. I mean, it could have been anyone. I'm just happy it's me. And you are right. Some people are never gonna experience this, and I'm just lucky to be one of them.
As someone who's done this 3 times now, what's your message to maybe some of the freshmen like Samaj Morgan who are going in through this the first time?
I mean, you got to treat this like this is your last one. I mean, there's really 2 games left. This one's the only one that's guaranteed. You got to give it all you got. Like, if you can't have some secret move, something in the bag, like you got to use everything this game. You got to give it all this game, and then you got to come back, do it again next week.
Following up on that, you guys, it's your 3rd year in a row on the stage. You guys lost the last 2 years. Is there kind of an extra chip on your shoulder trying to get past this?
I want to say I have like a chip on my shoulder. I just feel like, just up the execution level, up the detail level, up the focus, and all the fine-tune all the small details. Thank you, guys.
Roman, what's your why?
Why? Man, I don't know. I feel like being a young kid growing up in Hawaii, I want to be a role model for people growing up there too. Like, if I can do it, you can do it too. Because, growing up, when I looked at people like Marcus Mariota, like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. I want to be that guy where some little kids watching me on TV, like, oh, he's from home, like the hometown, like if he's there, like that's where I want to be too.
You guys have a lot of players that talk about a Michigan versus everybody mentality. Can you speak a little bit about that and kind of how that's kind of helped you guys block out all the noise?
Yeah, for me personally, I feel like the Michigan versus everybody. It's just, if you're not with us, you're against us. Like your opinion, your thoughts, like it doesn't really matter to us.
Do you feel like this is the closest team you've been around?
Yeah, 100% for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your haircut yesterday?
Yeah, there's a little cleanup.
How was it?
The haircut, it was good.
How do you like the hospitality center?
It was really good. It's like over the top, almost a little too much.
Playing Madden or pool or?
Nah, I just we're not practicing. I try to take care of my body. We don't have too much like free time, or like I don't have time to go down and play Madden. Like, it's just gotta try to do everything I can to like take care of my body, hydrate, things like that.
Sit in that massage chair yet?
Nah, but should I?
I don't know. I've heard good things. I haven't gotten a chance to.
All right, maybe I'll sit in it today.
What have you seen from day one to now, progress from Samaj Morgan?
Just being a young kid coming in with a lot of energy and, excited to play football, and then, slowly transitioning into like a mature young man who's locking into the details and, playing his part to help teams win football games. And, he's on course to have a very good career here. And,
when you watch film with Alabama, do they look like any team? Which team do they look like the teams you guys have played this season?
I don't know. They're a team in their own category. They're very good. They're you don't see too many teams who have two very good corners on their team, and then a third guy who also comes off the bench who's also really good, and then two physical safeties, and then a very good up front. You don't really see that every day, and I think they're just very good. Yep.
How would you describe the role that Coach Harbaugh played this season? I know he was a little in and out, but in terms of using all of that, I guess, to get you guys motivated, how would you describe that?
In some ways, when he got suspended, it was almost like a blessing. It just gives us that extra boost of motivation and energy, and that's what the guys came up with, like that bet, whatever it is, that bet, and it's just that motivation. Coach Harbaugh, he's on the plane with us, he's finding out with us that he's getting suspended, and it's just like emotions going around and things like that, and it's just we just gotta make it up for him. You know what I mean?
What was that moment like on the plane when you guys found out?
I mean, that was crazy. When we was landing, Blake woke me up and like showed me his phone, and I saw like the headline that he's suspended, and then we get on the bus, and then you see Coach Harbaugh walking on the bus, and it's just like kind of unreal. Like you think somebody shouldn't be like suspended like that, where they're finding out with their players on the way to the game. It's something that you don't really want to see.
What was his first kind of address to you guys? What was that like when he first talked about it?
I mean, I could tell he was hot, but he done a good job of keeping his emotions good, and he was just like, he just kept saying he was proud of us, and we knew we were going to go out there and take care of business.
It seems like he kind of relishes in some ways. Like, I'm sure he was upset not being able to coach, but it seems like he relishes being kind of in that us against them position. How have you seen that? Do that?
I don't think he like relishes in it or like promotes it or things like that, but he definitely if that's what it's going to be, like us against them, then he's like with us every single time. So it's not really a bad thing to have that mentality, but it's definitely helped us out throughout the season.
Obviously, you guys would want the game result from the playoff the last 2 years to go the other way, but do you think there's merit to needing to go through some of that stuff to climb that mountain?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessary, but it's definitely part of the grind too. I mean, without struggle, then success wouldn't taste as good. You know what I mean? And it just sucks that these last two games went like that, and we're gonna do everything in our power to make sure the third one isn't like that.
Last question.
Thank you.
Mic'd up here.
You want it off?
Yeah, it's connected to the chair. I don't want you taking the chair with you. one. We'll take it this way.